Rogers TV.
Good evening, everybody. How are you getting on tonight? It's your boy DC, and tonight on Out of the Fog, she is packed and she's ready. First, we're hanging out with the Candlelighters, an amazing yearly to-do with GeorgeTown on my mind's very own Krista, Erin leading the show. We're going to talk about the incredible gift that they have once again given to one of their near and dears. It's beautiful. And then after that, we have the one and only Dean Clarke. He is from Jigs and Reels Radio, KW, coming through to show us ourselves via the music that he plays 24 hours a day on his mainland channel, focused on Newfoundland music. You're going to love it. And then finally, Jonathan Nichol. You know Rain Michaels took home the gold and slayed all day last year in the lip sync battle brought to you by St. John's Pride and George Street Association in collaboration with so many other community supporters. We're going to talk about the night that was, how life has changed, and where Rain Michaels is going next. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back to hang with the homies after this break. Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy DC, and I'm hanging out with two queens in the game, and it's our annual hang. I feel like we're getting really good at this, right? Yeah. Erin, Krista, how are you both doing tonight?
Doing great.
We're great, thank you. Yeah, thank you again for having us again.
Oh my gosh, it's a pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Third year in a row.
I know. Listen, third time's a charm. We'll see now what goes on.
Yeah.
So listen, I want to take it back to the folks tuning in for the first time. Is that, you know, the organization Candlelighters and the work that they do is so incredible, and I would like for you to start by telling us more about that.
Sure, thank you. So Candlelighters has been around since the 80s. Not many people are aware of Candlelighters. Unfortunately, they find out about us when their child has just been diagnosed with cancer. So more people are learning about us and the work we do, thanks to you having us here today as well, and Krista working with us for the third year. We provide supports to families of children diagnosed with cancer. So whether that's financial support, emotional support, we advocate for them. We have several different events throughout the year. Most importantly, I say that because to the kids, it is the number one, is our pediatric oncology camp, Camp Delight, which happens every summer for a week. So that is the favorite of all the kids when it comes to what Candlelighters does, I guess. But we're there for all the families, the parents, the siblings, and the child going through.
Erin, what drew you?
What drew me? I started when my youngest started kindergarten, and I wanted to do something for myself. I had been a stay-at-home mom for a number of years, and a friend of mine looked at me and said, "You should apply for this job." And I didn't know I was ready to actually start working, but I can work from home. We don't actually have an office, so we're having savings that way and that sort of thing, and just wondering what it would be like to go through that with my own child.
Wow.
And thankfully I haven't had to.
Right.
But there are so many parents out there wondering what's next. And it's really actually a big family. And when we have different social events and that sort of thing, the parents get together and they can chat. It's very informal. We used to have a more formal support group.
Right.
But we find this works much better for the parents. It's less, I guess, stuffy, or just, it's more laid back, and everybody
more casual.
More casual, and people just talking about their own experiences, what works for you, what hasn't worked for your
That's
child.
so important.
Yeah.
Safe spaces for those types of intimate, vulnerable conversations.
Yes,
100%.
Very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're doing your thing, helping your community, and then this queen rolls in.
She taught my daughter grade 1.
I did. So I taught Erin's daughter Zoe, first grade,
Amazing.
and Erin, this was during of course, the pandemic, a number of years ago, and Erin did a beautiful presentation to the class about Candlelighters, and the following fall I had a couple glasses of wine and wrote Erin an email with I have this idea. What do you think?
That's so cute.
I loved it.
And long story short, I inquired. I was like, do you think one of the participants of your program would be interested in doing some sort of a dream bedroom makeover? Wow. So we made that happen for Rachel, and then we made it happen for Natalie, and this year we made that happen for Nathan and Joel. Yeah. So
that's so amazing.
We double teamed this year.
That's
so
great.
That was fun.
Lots of great ideas with wine.
It happens that time. I don't know.
It
it's
does.
just a
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
So you get in touch, and now year 3.
Yeah.
And now you're taking care of 2.
I know.
Tell me
It was
more.
a big one. This year was huge, obviously, because it was 2 children. So not only were we able to help a child who's going through cancer treatment, but also a sibling. And, you know, that was really important to me, too. Not to mention the fact they both share a room. So this was very different. You had to kind of mesh 2 very different personalities. So, you know, we had Joel, who loves hockey, and then we had Nathan, who loved Paw Patrol and all that kind of business. So I think we did a really good job.
That's awesome.
It turned out really nice. It's a room that they'll be able to grow into, which is really nice too. It's not something that's going to, you know, stay the age that they are now. They'll be able to grow into it. And we kind of created zones. So there's like a really cool loft bunk bed situation.
Saw that.
Yeah. So that's in one corner of the room, like that's their sleeping quarters and whatnot. And then there's like a desk area with like all kinds of stuff. And then there's a bunch of shelving and stuff in the closet. So it turned out really great. But I wouldn't be able to do what I do without obviously Erin's support and helping narrow down who we choose, because that is honest to God the hardest part
I can't
of this.
imagine.
That is
It's
difficult.
brutal. I don't get involved until the very last second because I would just, it's not,
Yeah.
But the folks at Kildare are just absolutely phenomenal. Their team, we would never be able to pull off the things that we do without them. So they are a godsend.
And they really connect with the kids.
They do, yeah. They really connect with the kids. They
Yeah.
always want to see the end of the makeover. Like they get to know the family. It's actually quite lovely. So they're kind of our construction. I say, can we have some shelves? And they build me an entire built-in closet. So it's like magical. So they're wonderful. And then of course I work a ton with Kent Building Supplies, and they're always on board to provide whatever we need. Cohen's Home Furnishings is another one here in town, same design. And then a whole slew of small makers. And this year actually we got really lucky. Forrest and Brooks and I collaborated on a candle, and all of the proceeds from the candle ended up going to Nathan and Joel's makeover, which is phenomenal.
my.
Because not a lot of people realize, but we don't take any funds from Candlelighters to do this makeover. This makeover is entirely done like in-house with GeorgeTown on my mind. So everything is donated, and then anything that's not comes out of pocket. So we don't touch anything. They give us a child, and we go. So I'm super fortunate to have so many wonderful folks who are willing to help out. So, and then the candle was just the icing on the cake.
That was a really cool project.
It was, and people were excited about it. And then you got to help somebody, but you also got this cool, like, limited edition candle.
It sold out
It sold out twice.
No way. Like, they're amazing. They are a duo who know. And I first met them exhibiting at the Craft Council's annual, and I bought candles from them and been following them on social ever since. And they know what they're at.
Their aesthetic is absolutely beautiful.
It's
and like Phil's
incredible.
photography is so perfect for Jess's candles. Like it's a beautiful marriage.
Well, let's keep that going, please, God. So, guys, we're in our final minute here. What's next? How can we celebrate the story that was? And what's next for the family that is the recipient of this amazing gift? Tell me everything.
We were hoping he could come tonight. The kids' schedules.
Of course. We get it?
We get it.
Yeah,
absolutely. But I mean, you know, he gets to enjoy his room.
He does.
With his brother.
That's right.
And they also have a sister who I think she kind of might, enjoy a little
lingers.
bit. Lingers a little bit.
Yeah. Please keep doing the amazing things that you are doing. GeorgeTown on my mind. It's what we are watching on the gram. Candlelighters, incredible organization, powered by an incredible human, I'm lucky to know. Girls, I love you both. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
See you next year.
Yes, you know, or sooner.
We'll see you in 2025.
Please, God. Guys, I'll tell you what, Candlelighters NL, check them out on the social channels, on their website. Find out how you can support this incredible organization. And for all things interior design, community helping, and all the tips and the coolness you want to see, GeorgeTown on my mind. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and listen, I'm hanging out with the king here. We crossed paths a couple of years back, and we've been LOLing ever since. He is a huge cultural ambassador for our genre to the world. Dean, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm well, thanks, Don. It's great to be here after going back and forth, and our schedules finally meshed.
I know. Look, here we are in real life.
I know.
And all you had to do was come a couple of provinces by plane just to say hello. No big deal.
A couple of 1,000 kilometers.
I mean, who's
What's
counting,
that?
right? What
What's
odds?
that?
Now, I know Paddy's Day has something to do with the energy of what's brought you here. Tell me more, and then we'll talk about the true tea. But for now, talk about Paddy's Day and how excited you may be.
Paddy's for me is a first-time experience. I actually had the experience of being part of George Street Festival last year.
That's right.
My first time.
Fun.
So now it's Paddy's. I'm actually here with a good friend of mine who I grew up with since we were 4 years old. My buddy Johnny, and he's getting screeched in tomorrow night.
Oh, no, you're not.
Yeah, his first time in Newfoundland, but he's been a big part of my show and big part of my life. So he's like a brother to me. And it ended up being today in Dildo at the brewery. It was a Jigs and Reels Radio KW Presents with Dildo Brewery, just an open pre-party, pre-Paddy's jam. And
my.
we ended up having, I think, 8 performers come out.
Oh, no way.
It was packed. It was crazy. Yeah.
So you're coming in to really rip it up.
Trying to, going to promote the show and spread the love and meet some members of some bands that I've never met before that I play on a regular basis.
Oh my God.
Never get to do face to face. So that's the opportunity this weekend.
Well, this is great. So let's bring us into the main event here.
Yeah.
A lover of our genre, family from here, lived away.
Yep.
But I can only imagine growing up and being with relatives and hearing stories and listening to the music, it did something to you.
My parents, when they got together, for the first 4 years of my life, my parents boarded 11 of my dad's friends from Heart's Desire. So they moved away, came up, they lived with us. So for the first 4 years of my life, it was every Friday, Saturday, I hear stories, 50-pound bag of potatoes, the ground beef, the everything. And I hear the stories on a regular basis. So as I got older, I was 17, and we used to come down home all the time and visit Nan and Pop.
Okay.
And the family and things. And every Sunday when we left, they used to listen to a radio show, and Nan would always request the song When the Robins Come Home. And we'd all cry because we would leave. So when I turned 17, I wanted to get into radio. And I went to a community radio station in Waterloo.
Cool.
And they asked, what you want to do? And I said, well, I want to do a Newfoundland music show. And they laughed. And here's this kid, 17, coming in, and they're like, wait, what? So I told them all about the history, and for 20 years, I did the show on a community radio station where I started out with 32 albums and cassettes, moved into CDs, still no social media, still no internet, and I finished with a ton of CDs, a ton of cassettes, and still my albums.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I took 14 years off. Family and kids and everything like that. And,
Sure.
And then all of a sudden I see this on social media, the music.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it all over again, and the passion came back in waves. And I said to my girlfriend, I said, you know what? I said to Dana, I'm like, I really should do this. And she goes, why don't you? And I never had an answer. And I went, went back to the community radio station, started it up 3 years ago. And here we are, and so many things have happened because of it.
Tell me more.
Well, almost 4,700 followers on Facebook.
Boom.
I do a live, interactive, behind-the-scenes, live-to-air Monday nights, 6 to 8 Eastern Time. It's 2 hours. I play everything and anything. Almost 2,400 on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And then in August last year, just after you and I talked, I started my own radio station, my own radio show on live365.com. You can search up Jigs and Reels Radio KW, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week of all Newfoundland music.
I mean, that is no joke.
It's a passion. It's one of those things. When I started the station, I went, you know what? You have your 2, 3, 4 hour blocks of radio shows here in Newfoundland, just like my 2 hour show.
Yeah.
But what happens after that?
Right.
Who can listen to Newfoundland music after that? Nobody. But there's so much more. Yeah. Newfoundland has its own musical identity, and I've said this from the start. No other province has it, and I want to be the promoter to bring that west.
That's amazing.
And I come across new artists, the band Amity, Salt Beef Junkies,
Yeah.
Summer Bennett,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But where are they getting heard?
Well, and thank you, because, you know, it's a conversation that I have a lot to say about. I'm not going to take over. But I will say, as an artist, as an arts promoter,
Yeah.
an arts enthusiast, I can tell you that, you know, the number of vehicles that exist to help bring our emerging artists to the world is fewer and more far between than ever. Print media is no longer driving that the way that it was in terms of columns and that.
Yep.
And you know, we do have playlists and a variety of streaming platforms, but it's very fragmented, and it's hard
Agreed.
to build community around something like that. But you're doing the opposite. You are growing community around your vehicle. And
Yes.
why do you think that's happening?
The fact of the matter is it's an outlet. It gives these artists that outlet. And I always was a big believer when I did this before. When I sat there and I played their song, whether it was on a cassette, whether it was on a CD, but to get the information after and get their feedback after, going, oh my God, you know what? I sat there with my parents. I sat there with my grandparents. I sat there with my family. And I heard my song for the very first time on the radio. And it brought me so much joy. You know, and
I hear that.
you know, on the Facebook page, and it's so many comments say thank you. And I do this all voluntarily.
Yeah, of course, exactly, which people don't realize that.
I put so much time into it. I have a day job, I have a full-time day job, but this is a passion for me because I see so many artists that just aren't getting heard.
Yeah. What's next?
With the radio station on the Live 365, we're talking with Music NL about possibly doing some big things.
Fun.
Next year, doing some more streaming, bringing up, you know, with the radio station, just more fun things. Just different angles, different avenues to bring music my way. And if anybody is listening and anybody is watching, please, if you have new music, I don't care. If you are from Newfoundland, your music will get played. There is no certain criteria you must meet. It doesn't matter if you're from Newfoundland, you're gonna get played.
I mean, would you even play this weird old band I've heard of called Eras? Would you even mess with them?
It's interesting because it's on my gym playlist.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and I also have heard it on that Jigs and Reels Radio KW on Live 365.
Wow.
I know.
This is
I know.
weird.
Do you know them?
No, you know what? I can probably find them if I looked really hard.
You know what?
Yeah.
I would really love to meet them.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the break. Deeply, come back and hang out with us again, man.
Dude, of course. I'm only 2,000 kilometers away.
You're practically next door.
That's it. Let's do it.
Listen,
Let's
on
do it.
behalf of all of the musical community here in this province, thank you for what you're doing to help us reach more people across the country. Keep it up. We need you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Guys, Dean, it is Jigs and Reels. Look at the shirt, sir. What do you want? I'll be selling these on the side of the road after the show. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and am I ever pumped to be hanging out with some royalty here tonight. Jonathan Nichol, what's up?
Hello.
What's
Hello,
going
gorgeous.
on?
How are you?
Well, it's so glad to see you because we obviously see each other around the downtown and the arts entertainment arena.
Yes.
And you have had quite a booming journey in the drag performance
Since
arena.
2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it wild?
That's nuts. That's crazy.
What led you into drag performance as an art form?
Well, my first ever drag queen that I heard of was Savannah Cox,
Okay.
which is a Toronto legend.
Okay.
And I heard about her through an old MTV show called One Girl, Five Gays. They were talking about it. And at the time, I wasn't out or anything like that, so I was going through a whole new experience. And I just searched it up, and I seen it, and I was like, okay, this seems like fun. Moved into St. John's, and
Where are you from?
Marystown. That's
right.
Originally from Marystown, moved in back in 2016.
Nice.
And then Yeah, I started off going crazy around 2019. Met the right people, the right group of friends, and my drag mother, Misty Manifest, brought me into it, and I've been going pretty hard ever since. And I love it. It's the best feeling ever. It's the one thing that connected all of my inner problems and all of that. I was missing a big part of myself that I didn't realize I didn't have, and that was drag. It was female impersonation. I used to stand up in the mirror at home, being like 10 years old, lip syncing the house down in my bedroom. My mom's screaming, "Keep it down!" And I'm just like, no, I'm going crazy. I love it. And I've been doing it ever since.
That's amazing. I will say, the journey of performing in your room and celebrating, authentically your true self, and then you get to the point where you are gussying up and hitting that main stage.
Yeah.
The prep time is no joke. Tell me more.
Starting off took me about 6 hours. So I used to book off the entire day from work. I was like, I need the hours. I need to get in and do my face, glue down your eyebrows so they're not oatmeal-y, the whole nine. So it was a lot of learning process. And then you go into it, the more and more you do it, the faster you get. And then it's just painting by number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was very lucky to hang out with the first official winner of what we'll talk about now shortly,
Yes.
Ophelia Delight. And to watch
come on.
Ophelia get into the zone, to go out and slay. And then I followed her down to a local club and watched her and a bunch of other drag performers rip it up to the audience
Tearing it
delight.
up.
And that's the moment, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The moment for me is when everyone's screaming my name. And I'm just like, this is so right. I was like, this feels very correct. I love it.
Now, Rain Michaels, I
Yes.
love. And as someone who has a lot of love for the 80s rock era, I wonder if that ended up being some of your inspiration via, some of the names. What led you to that?
Rain Michaels actually came from, I always said to myself, if I ever had a child, I was gonna and it would be a female, I was gonna name her Rain. And then life kind of went through its journey, and I was like, I like this name. And I was like, I want to keep this name. So I was like, no, I'm going to keep it. My middle name is Michael, out of drag. And so I took that and my favorite drag queen, which is Cameron Michaels. So I added the S and Rain Michaels.
Boom.
Born.
And you know what? It's funny because you did give birth to a baby named Rain, but in a way that you never expected.
At all.
You are the baby.
I am the baby. I'm making it rain.
It's all happening.
Right?
So let me lead us back to the event in question where you took home the crown. Boom. George Street partnered with St. John's
Yes.
Pride for a lip sync battle on the main stage in the heartbeat of the downtown of St. John's. And the performers rolled deep.
Right?
Many a performer applied, 10 got in via the votes.
Yeah.
And then that night happened.
And it was insane.
And then you happened to the night.
I happened.
There are some moments that will live in my brain forever from your performance.
Thank you.
When you look back on that night, how do you feel?
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's the moment that I felt validated as a drag performer in the city, because there is so many drag performers. But winning that title, because I got so close the first year,
True.
Ophelia. But I came back with a vengeance, and I had to win it.
Yes.
And I remember when I got onto the stage in the first round, and I was up against Herpagana. And I got up on that top of the speaker.
You did.
And I just jumped.
You
mean, it looks like it's like 6 feet in the air, and just then into a death drop. And it felt so good, so comfortable, and I was like, I got this.
When you're looking at the year ahead, it's 2024, and tell me more. I mean, where can we see you? Because we're in our final minute to hang, and I want to make sure the folks watching understand how they can get at Rain Michaels.
Get at me on Instagram, Facebook, at Rain Michaels. Come down to my shows. I usually perform at Velvet, probably about every 2 weeks, give or take.
Okay.
And now I have some big events coming up. We have the Taylor Swift brunch with Love.
Yes.
So tickets available on my Instagram. Head up to the link tree, and they have after parties for that as well.
Cool.
But I'm very excited to see different people that I haven't seen in different venues.
Yeah.
And it's so good. The brunches bring out a different crowd of people.
True.
And I love just meeting everyone. I love you all.
So listen, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate you on the big win. I want to look forward into the year ahead and everything that you're going to do. And I do want to send love and appreciation to the entire drag performance community. And in our final second before we throw to the break, who would you like to thank for where you are today?
My mom.
Yeah.
My mom's my best friend. I grew up with not having a relationship with my father.
Okay.
And my mother was the cement to the foundation of our family. She's an absolute godsend to this world. She's my best friend. We shared a moment up on the stage.
I know.
When she came up, and I was like, oh my God, this is my American Idol moment. My mom ran up and she was crying, which made me cry. And I just love her. She's my #1 fan, my biggest supporter.
Well, I hope she's watching you tonight.
Oh, she better be. Mom, where are you?
Listen, also, I will say as we throw, part of the drag performance energy that I love is humor, and you bring it all. So I just wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Love.
This has been such a pleasure, and hopefully I come back.
You know you will.
Yeah, I better.
You know
yes.
God, Rain Michaels, check her out. She's fierce, she's wild, she's coming for the crumbs. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here tonight on the couch with the Out of the Fog volunteer cast and crew, the full-time employees who come together and make this show happen every week for you guys. Thank you so much to Erin and Krista from Candlelighters and GeorgeTown on My Mind for the amazing work you do. Thank you so much, Dean Clarke from Jigs and Reels Radio, KW, from all the amazingness you bring every week and 24 hours a day on your station. And thank you, Jonathan Nichol, a.k.a. Rain Michaels. This was Out of the Fog, and we'll see you next time.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
Everyone wants to know about everything Blue Jays.
Blair and Barker know what's up.
Over under an 86.5 wins.
I'm going to go over.
What's the story on Blue Jays Central?
Jamie, this Blue Jays lineup has a chance to win a ball game. Should be a good finish.
Joe, it's going to get exciting. Let's get you back to the ballpark.
That ball's driven to deep left field.
Gone! And the Blue Jays win it! Only one network has everything.
Sportsnet, home of the Blue Jays.
This is the office of Todd Hammersfield. And like most of Canada's film and media industries, Todd's studio is mostly straight and white. Todd tends to avoid that topic, but it's not Todd's fault. Todd didn't personally spend the last century making it nearly impossible for BIPOC and LGBTQ plus folk to pursue careers in this industry, or at least I don't think Todd did. Did you, Todd? But he did benefit from the structure, and that's why we need Todd's help now. By pledging to check their privilege, Todd Studio can now help fund programs to finally create a more diverse talent pool. And Todd, you can stop hiding behind this plan. What?
Actually, I'm in the vents.
Oh!
There you are. I was looking all over for you.
Stop hiding from our industry's lack of diversity and pledge to help